A very good evening to you. Thank you so much for sticking to Y254 TV. My name is Cheryl Blessing and you are watching The Power Talk Show. Now, on this show, we have conversations that directly impact you and we want to improve your life. So today we're having a conversation about friendship and relationships. So many of us rely on our friends and our mutual connections, our families, to give us advice and to give us direction when we're dealing with issues within our relationships. So we want to really understand how can friendships and how can the advice we get from our friends affect our relationships and our marriages. So that is what we want to get into today. I hope you can stick and enjoy and learn something from this. On set, I have people who are really qualified to give us advice and give us insight on this very important conversation. And we have the lovely lady, Beryl Omundi, who is an entrepreneur. Karibu tena, Beryl.
Asante.
You look lovely, Leo.
In fact, I said I don't go with the calendar.
Yeah.
So today I'm feeling the love. I'm on Valentine's.
Always. Valentine's is every day, right?
Yeah.
And right next to Beryl, we have someone who's not a guest here.
Wow.
Pastor Edwin Tiego.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Asante sana, it feels good to be at Y254.
Yeah.
Power Talk again.
It feels good to be home.
Oh, yes.
Uko ni home.
Yes, oh, yes.
Beryl has also joined the family. It's
Yeah.
not the first time you've come
Karibu
here.
sana.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
you. We need to have a WhatsApp group
For the family.
for Power Talk. Yeah.
Yes, oh, yes, oh, yes.
So this is promising to be a very interesting conversation. I am looking forward to getting some insights because we rely heavily on our friends, our family, and even sometimes our colleagues to give us advice when we are dealing with some issues within our relationship. Can our friendships affect the quality of our relationships? Can they affect your marriage? I want us to find out that, and I want to hear from you as well. I want you to tell me, what do you think about this conversation? Have you had an experience where your friendships affected your relationship, advice you got, or maybe some opinion you had, or an experience you got that really impacted your relationship and even your marriage? Go on our social media platforms at Y254. That is on X, on Instagram, and on Facebook. And we will sample some of your comments as we progress through the conversation. And I think to kickstart, because we've had conversations about how to make good relationships and how to assess the type of friendships and categorize friendship. So I want us to start by asking, can the quality of friends affect your relationship? Can the quality of friends you have from the beginning affect the quality of your relationship? Pastor, let's get it from you because you're well versed with this conversation.
Yeah, I must say it's an emphatic yes, that the quality of friends you have can affect your relationship. Sherry, friends create an atmosphere around you.
Yeah.
Sorry for that.
Sorry.
Friends create an atmosphere around you.
Yeah.
You look like the, the advice that your friends give unto you, day in, day out. Because these are people whom you relate with each and every other day. Whenever you hit a deadlock, they are the people that you reach out to, and they can give you counsel or they can give you advice. Of course, at times you cannot take advice and all counsel from friends. You have the independence and the sovereignty of thought. But at the end of the day, you will find that a certain percentage of the decisions you make, they are influenced by your friends.
True.
Yeah.
At times, yes, we say do not follow what people do and what people say. But that is what normally happens. Friends influence us in one way or another. And even when you go to the book, it says that good company, bad company corrupts good morals. So
Yeah.
it means if at all you have good friends, you will be a quality person. Actually, in today or in the cycle, we say it is your social. What is your social capital?
Yeah.
What is the quality of friends that you are having? For instance, when we give it the perspective of marriage as you have given unto it, can you consider, for instance, you are a married man or you are a married woman and you are hanging around single
people.
friends, or you're hanging around single friends, what will be the counsel that they'll give unto you? Or without any offense, you are married and your circle of friends are people who have walked out of their marriages for whatsoever reason. What counsel will they be able to do to give you about the situation or the circumstance which you are in, which in this case it's marriage?
Yeah.
So friends affect on how your life can be in
Yeah.
one way or another.
I like that. That's very clearly said. And even outside of relationships and marriage, sometimes our friends even influence the kind of food we like, our fashion sense, the people we follow, the content we consume.
Sure.
They influence that heavily because you spend a lot of time with them, you share insight with them, you share some ideas with your friends. So the quality of your friends has an impact on you as an individual.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Then that also impacts your relationship.
Very much.
So we were having a conversation with Beryl the last time you were on set
Yeah,
about how to figure out what type of friends and how you categorize them. Beryl,
Yeah.
now if you're getting into a relationship, and as Pastor has given us very clear examples, you can be dating someone and you have single friends.
True.
You hang around bachelorettes and people who don't even believe in
Marriage.
How do you pick and choose how to select these friends, especially if that is who you are? Because if you want a relationship, if you want a marriage, if you believe in that union and you associate with people who don't, how do you drop these people or pick and choose to know how they can move on to the next stages of your life with you?
First of all, Cheryl, I would like to say we need to know that the friends we have strengthen or weakens something that we have. And in the case of whereby, let's say I'm in a marriage situation and I have friends who are single, we said that we should learn the art of letting go. I think that's the last thing we talked about, learning the art of letting go. You cannot drop it immediately. You cannot just hold something and drop it like a vase or something that you're just throwing out. But we need to learn step by step. You see, they say that when you start to elevate in life, you tend to lose friends.
Yeah.
So when I get into a new chapter of my life, when I get into marriage, let's say if I get into marriage, I get into commitment. I don't have time to go out as much as I used to. With time, you will adapt. Even the friends will learn that now she's not available 24/7 as she used to be. So as you go there, we are not saying that you destroy the friendship that you have. Do not leave your friends just because you're getting into marriage and they have not yet considered the chapter of marriage. You just learn to adapt. There are ways to do it. You learn to accept the situation that you're in. And you learn to converse with your friends. You know, we lack communication because I'll get into marriage and I'm like, you know, I'm already married, I'm not talking with you guys. We should learn to communicate. If Cheryl is my friend per se, I should tell her, you know, Cheryl, right now, at 7, I'm supposed to be at home cooking for the family. At 7, Cheryl is still out. So you learn, you tell her, maybe I can create time on another day or another time apart from this time. So you communicate with them so as not to lose the friendship or not to break the friendship in a very bad way.
That's true. I like that. That's very clear because you adapt. You don't just drop people without communicating or maybe having the exchange of saying, this is where I'm at. I don't feel like you're there with me. So how can we converge and still maintain our friendship? Now that brings me to the next thing, because we have agreed that there are certain stages in life where some people cannot relate with you the same.
Yeah.
But now, let's say I've gotten into a marriage. I'm the first one among my group of friends to be married.
Yes.
And they're not necessarily against the idea of marriage.
Yes.
They're just in a different stage. But then the priorities have changed. The way we'll hang out has changed. I probably have a baby on the way, so I can't go out or I can't do this and that anymore. How can I then pick and choose and know what characters do these friends have that I can maintain? How can I see the potential in my friends? Because as you've said, I've seen, I think I saw a series where there were ladies who were friends and they were single, but then they had friends who got married and got kids and they settled in suburbs areas and they really just cut them off. But these people weren't necessarily against the idea of marriage. The timelines were just different. So how can you know this character is someone who can add value even in my marriage? When I have issues, I can go to them and they will understand. Pasi, how can we know that?
From how you talk and how you communicate, you can get to know what kind of a friend you have, what are their intentions, what are their perspectives on different aspects of life. Because conversation is one of the greatest tools that holds any friend together. What brings you together? And many a times, we will tend to be brought together by what is the common denominator amongst us. Very few people embrace friends irregardless of whether there are differences or whether there are different perspectives. But mostly, when you find people hanging out together, there is a common denominator that brings them together.
True.
So in your talks, because you get to share your visions, you get to share your ambitions, you get to share your emotions, your feelings, your perspectives, beliefs in different aspects of life, business, religion, marriage, and all that. So when Ivatol Beryl here is a friend, the way she comments about marriage will tell me whether she's a friend to keep as I am progressing towards marriage. Or she's a friend that even if I will not drop her, but I just need to move her at least a few inches for me to be able to achieve my agenda when it comes to marriage. Because necessarily, she may not be useful when it comes to that particular aspect of marriage. I began by saying that friends are a social capital.
True.
She may not be helpful when it comes to matters marriage, but she's, as an entrepreneur, she is very helpful when it comes to matters business. So just get to know of what zone do you need to put each and every friend which you have. Because friendship, it is not just about liking and loving one another, Beryl. No, it is, I've said, it is social capital. There must be something which you're mutually benefiting from one another. As we are just coming on set, we are sharing with Beryl and we are asking, even if it is hanging out, is it just hanging out or there is something which you're coming to celebrate? Tukisema tunataka kuchafua meza, whether you chafua in the other way or you chafua in a humble way, the way we believers do, because we don't chafua with alcohol and we don't
chafua with the word of God.
What is it that you're celebrating? You understand? So let us ask, are we coming to celebrate because Beryl has made an achievement? She has had an engagement. So we are just coming to chafua meza and celebrate Beryl because it is an achievement and it is a congratulation. Or are you telling Beryl, hey, utateseka? Oh, no. So you need to understand from their conversation, from their communication, the way they communicate, the way they bring up their beliefs, and you'll get to know this is a friend to keep for this agenda.
That's important because, as you've said, your friend can be valuable when it comes to maybe even mental health issues. But when it comes to finances, they're not that good. And it takes me back to the conversation we were having with Beryl about really categorizing and figuring out this friend is good with business. This friend is good with advice. This friend is good with maybe family matters. So it's important to really figure out your friendships, assess, as you're saying, it's important to really assess the people that we're talking to. So now let me get into, we're in a relationship. Is it important for you to meet your partner's friends? And should you introduce your partner to your friends? Because, let me direct it first at Beryl. Because us ladies, people like to hide their partners. Because there's this, I don't know, there are people who, there's this misconception, okay, or maybe it's true, about people who will come and steal your partner. The minute they know he treats you right, he's a good they can steal him. Or sijui watu wanaogopa sijui. Mambo ni mengi.
True.
So people hide their relationships. Is it important to introduce your partner to your friends and even to meet their friends? Do you think it is?
Cheryl, I can start by saying, we say that keep your relationship private, but not keep it a secret. When I say keep your relationship private, I say keep what I mean by keep whatever that is going in the relationship. It's not a must that now Cheryl is my friend and I'm like, Cheryl, today we are going to Naivasha. Cheryl, today he brought for me flowers. Cheryl, he took me to, I don't know, the beach. He took me, no. It's like Cheryl, I and him are dating. it's okay. For me, I will say it is right to let your friends know your partner, but it is wrong to let your friends into your relationship, because that is where the problem is. Because I may have passed through a toxic relationship and I'm healing, and in my book or in my journal, the right man for me, I have written, he needs to be getting me flowers. And Cheryl comes and tells me, but then my guy gets me flowers. So I'm like, he gets flowers. He takes me on date. He takes people on date. So whatever she's telling me about her guy, he's the ideal man for me, per se.
Yeah.
That is why we say ladies are toxic, because you've already expressed, you've put your man on display for us.
Yeah.
What do you expect me as a healing person? And he's the right man. Because if you say even God uses your friend to direct, maybe your friend was a channel. So maybe I can say, no, Cheryl was a channel, perceive. And I'll tell Cheryl, as friends, my dear, this is the man that the Lord told me about.
So and the funny thing is that people who really genuinely believe that, because I've seen skits on social media of someone saying, my friend's boyfriend is my type.
Ideal man, Mr.
He's Mr. Right.
Yeah.
So you've said, keep it private, don't keep it a secret.
Yeah.
So you have to know what to share and what not to share. But now how do you get to that? Because there are times when you're really overwhelmed. They usually say, I've had this before, you do not take your problems out there. You do not make it public, because people will not understand. Mnaweza kosa na asubuhi jioni make up. But then people will know everything that went on, even if you go back, and they won't really understand. So how do we pick and choose what to share and what not to share, and who to even share this with?
Okay. First of all, I like the idea that she has brought in, that keep your relationship, let it be private, but do not let it be a secret. You understand?
Yeah.
I believe it's a matter of timing. When do you share with your friends about anything you would want to share with them, a relationship and any other thing? So there is a question which you have asked, that what is it that you should share and what is it that you should not share? First of all, before we get to that, who are you sharing with?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because we have said in the first place, you need to analyze, know the quality of friends you are having. And to that, at that juncture, Cheryl, yeah, it's interesting. The names are right in between the reels. When it comes to friendship, you need to, first of all, evaluate that friendship.
Yeah.
Have you really become friends? Or are you just acquaintances? Because we are so quick at times to call people our friends.
Yeah.
Yet they have not yet been able to get the qualification, the threshold of being called a friend. That term is very, very heavy than we have ever thought.
Yeah.
A friend, who is really, really a friend? So when you get the true definition of who is a friend, I believe what to share with them can never be an issue, because you have had confidence in this person that indeed he is a friend.
Yeah.
Because it is about confidence, which brings me to the levels of friendships that we have. They say we have constituents, we have comrades, and we have confidants. You understand?
Yeah.
So if this person has gotten to the level of being a confidant, then you can be able to do what? To share. You understand? So who is a constituent? A constituent are people who are for what you are. You understand? We like a yellow.
So we like yellow.
Friends, we like biryani. So we like biryani, so we are friends.
Yeah.
Your constituents. Then we have comrades. Comrades, it means me and you, Cheryl, we have a common enemy. And once we bring down that enemy, our business is done.
There's nothing more.
There's nothing more.
Yeah.
But a confidant is somebody who loves you for what you are. Whether you're good or bad, they love you for what you are.
Yeah.
And loving you for what you are does not mean that they cannot correct you. But this person has won your confidence. Whenever you are in shit, they are the people you can be able to call, and you're sure they won't judge you, but again, they will not leave you in that shit.
Yeah.
So when you are able to know the quality of friends that you have, then be free to share with them. As you're sharing with them, also know what do you get to share.
Yeah.
In what wisdom do you get to share?
Yeah.
Have you ever had people who ask for wisdom in a very smart way? They say they're asking for a friend.
Atia, by the way, nimesikia nani?
I have a friend.
Hey, I have a friend who's going through something.
Yet it is them.
Yeah.
Have a wise way to
Do it.
Yeah.
And that's actually very smart, because sometimes, you can be dealing with a situation, and yes, you have a confidant, but you don't want to expose your person pia, because as we've said, unajua maneno ya watu wawili.
Yes.
What you can interpret and how you share it with
And
someone
even
else.
do not begin with bad things.
Yeah.
Just begin with simple things which are not very, very sensitive. Yeah. Come and open up to them. And the moment you will hear it from someone else, just know that one is not a confidant.
Yeah.
That is a public address system.
So you have to be wise about how to
yes.
do it.
Oh, yes.
And I like that, because as I was saying, sometimes people go through something. Maybe I've been dating someone for 6 months and we have been okay. And then one time he comes, amenyeshewa, job amekuwa na stress, nini, akasirike, aonge vibaya or something. So if I share that with my friend, I can really misrepresent the partner. Yeah, and they can, watasema, kumbe ako na anger issues. He's toxic, red flag, leave him. But they don't understand the circumstances, which you might understand better. Now it takes me to, you have met his friends. He has met your friends. What if your partner tells you, I don't like your friends? I like her reaction. Yes. What if your partner tells you, I do not like your friends, because they can see something that you probably can't? What would you say to that?
Sure. Let me start by a question. I had a question for Percy. When Percy talked about confidant. Percy, if my confidant is my age mate, let's say I'm getting into marriage, I'm the first amongst the whole crew to get into marriage, and my confidant is my age mate, and I have a problem, how do I approach that? Now, to answer what Cheryl has asked me, Cheryl, it is not easy, because I say maybe the friends, I knew my friends before I knew my man. But my man sees something. When you say someone is your partner, you are rest assured that this person, I have a vision with him or her. You're not seeing today, you're seeing the next 5 years.
Yeah.
So you've met the friends and you're like, this person, if the same relationship continues for the next 3 years in the same pace, then we cannot reach the 5-year goal that we have.
Yeah.
If I am to speak about it, I'll say do not approach it. Do not say it openly, but use wisdom, as Percy has said. Know how to use wisdom. Talk to them about maybe a particular situation that you've observed, and tell them, let's say maybe, Cheryl, a mode of dressing. Yeah. When I used to, before I got into marriage, maybe I used to dress on the attractive way. When I pass through, I know when I pass here, eyes are following me. But now I'm a married woman. I have decided that I'm going to keep myself for one.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the dress code. Just tell me, it's not that I don't like the way you used to dress. It's just that I prefer that now, because let me be the one to see your legs. Let those thighs, let me see them in the house. That is when when she talks about it, she says, no, my friends are saying when I start to dress like that, I'm sure. That is when you bring up the conversation. But you don't just pop it out. Your friends are bad. They're going to destroy. We are going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem.
And I like that. It takes wisdom for you to know how to say or address certain matters. And by the way, Beryl is also a media practitioner. Umwana hapa amekuwa interviewer kidogo. So you had a question for Percy, which is important. I think so many people are facing that. They can be your friends and you don't know. I even wanted to find out, how do you even pick sijui your maid of honor, because it's supposed to be someone who's married. And so do you have to have different categories of friends where some are married, some are mothers, some are fathers, so that you can know and maybe, and how do you even maintain that? Because if you don't share any similarities, how do you maintain that such that when you're in a marriage and you're a first time, it's maybe your first year in marriage, and I understand that the first year is usually the hardest. So how can you ask for advice from someone who's more experienced as opposed to your friends? Where do you even get these people who are more experienced?
Sherry, I began to give people marriage counseling before I myself got married.
Oh.
Wow.
By virtue of just observing things and being wise, that happened. And one time, one person came and asked me, you're giving marriage, are you married yourself? So I asked them this. And this is the question that I always ask, because there is always that one which is beyond your capacity. Whenever someone is going to be treated in the hospital, for instance, for asthma or ulcers, do they ask the doctor, have you ever suffered from asthma before you get to treat me? So there are things you can get by wisdom, by just getting to interact with people, observing and all that. But there is also pertinent advice which must be given depending on the experience that someone has had.
Yeah.
So you may have a friend who is an age mate. They can give you advice to a certain level. You understand?
Yeah.
But when it goes beyond that, then you need to seek advice from somebody who is a bit elder or older, who has an authority in that particular area.
Yeah.
In most of the cases, I've always advised people, whenever you're choosing friends or whenever you're choosing your circle, it is important to mix it.
Yeah.
Have people who are a bit elderly. You understand?
Yeah.
In the Bible, it was the same.
Yeah.
I believe there's a king who came after King Solomon, the son to King Solomon. And when he wanted to rule, he went to ask advice from different
elders.
categories. And they say there is what young men advised him, and there is what old men advised him.
Yeah.
Whatever decision he chose, it is for him. But I always say it is good to mix within your circle people who are a bit elderly, people who are in your age set, you understand?
Yeah.
And even those ones who are younger than you, so that as you're mentoring those ones who are younger than you, you're also setting a role model. Because you have said friendship, it is an accountability circle. Don't have friends whom you cannot hold one another accountable,
Yeah.
who cannot act as a speed governor to one another.
Yeah.
You understand? So in that case, that is very, very much important. You've asked a question on whether when you have come into a friendship and your partner tells you, I don't like your friends.
Yeah.
Find out the reason.
Let me hold that actually, because I want us to get into that in the second bit, because there are times when your partner might see something that you can't, or even your friends can see something in your partner that you can't. Maybe it might be something toxic. So I want us to get into that in the second bit of this conversation. So stick to Y254. This is Power Talk. Go on our social media platforms. I want to hear opinions from you at home. Experience yako ni gani? Have you had relationships that were affected by your friendships? Have you had relationships that were saved by your friendships? Give us some of your experiences and your opinions on this conversation, and we will sample that when we come back. So